Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. We're powered by Advanced Trading. We have a lot of things going on. May not be the longest show ever because we got another show coming up at 10:45. USDA, all types of release, end of the month, end of the quarter, a lot of headlines overnight. We're going to go through all of those, and then we're going to talk about North Carolina and what's going on with this port strike. That's probably the biggest news that most people aren't talking about. 50,000 people thinking of taking a little time off right as the election and Christmas and everything is so close. We've seen through other events that America doesn't do well when people quit working, quit doing their job. So we'll see what happens with that port strike on the East Coast and the Gulf. But let's take a look at the markets. They're bouncing back. I think you'll be happy to hear about that. We'll go to LaSalle Street. Corn down a quarter. No beans down 3. Meal, keep an eye on that one. That was down a bunch last night. Back up on the day. Oil down a few ticks. Border Trade, KC, hard red spring, up 3 to 6 in the wheat. Taking a look at cattle, down 20. Feeders down 40. End of the month, end of the quarter. Reports can't tell you how important that is. We'll go to Wall Street here real quick. Dow Jones down 200. S&P down 6. NASDAQ down 15. 2s, 5s, 10s, 30s. Interest rates going up, folks, even with a proposed or suggested another half-point rate cut. Gold down 14. Silver down 50. Dr. Copper down 10. That was up 17 last night. Copper opened at 5 o'clock and exploded. If we have time, I'll look at a chart of that. Something you don't hear us talk about a lot on the show, but was a market mover. These metals have been a leader. Look to see some profit taking here, but the markets aren't close yet. Crude oil down 33. Natural gas trending up. Natural gas, one of last week's big winners. A few months ago, you could have bought natural gas with a 19 handle. We got a 29 handle in natural gas. Bitcoin down a couple thousand. Connor B, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. And with that, my friend, let's run through the headlines.
Let's do it. Big start to the week, right? Nothing like kicking off a Monday with the USDA report. So that's going to be the big one. We're going to jump back in here around 10:45. We'll do what we always do, where we'll break down what we're looking for, digest it live, and then remember to tune in later. Right? We'll have the guys in Bloomington. I think it's Nate DeRocco, Reginelli, and Brian Basting. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rick. They're going to debate it too. So USDA report. Look at that. I'm not usually right, but there we go.
Michael's the most handsome one in that group, I'll tell you right now.
Oh, it's up for debate. So good to see. Yep, we'll see what this USDA report says, right? It's a stocks report. And we'll have a lot more data for that for you later. With that, let's keep going through the headlines. We had another flash sale, Tommy. Bean sale to China, 116,000 metric tons delivery to China. Thank you very much. We will see it. And the big news out of China continues. We are seeing that stock market, right? They pumped a lot of stimulus money in it. They wanted to get it. Biggest day in the Chinese stock market since 2008, Tommy.
That was wild. What happened in 08 to stabilize the markets is, we'll just say, unprecedented. And it's like that's when we were doing QE 1, 2, 3, backstopping. The Chinese government has come in and backstop the economy. They are giving speculators permission to buy. They don't like send an email and say speculators buy, but anyone who's on a trading desk understands the effect of what they're doing. I have to say, I'm not surprised to see soybeans rallied back because they've been doing so well. This down 12, 13 last night. They're only down 2. That's on the back of this. And I will say this, that there's some traders, professional traders around the world caught really off guard by what China's doing, and it's affecting all the markets. But with that, end of the month, end of the quarter, big report, dock workers thinking about going on strike. Sounds like it's going to happen. Midnight, it'll be a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big one. I think set to go in place Tuesday. We'll see that port strike East Coast. Rick had a great graphic. Pop that up, Rick. Where just companies that are affected by this port strike. So will it disrupt, potential to disrupt our world, Tommy, and grains? Absolutely. But it's going to affect, all these names: Walmart, IKEA, Samsung, Home Depot, LG. So could be a big disruption. And so, a week ago, we would have talked about the different port strikes. We've got the rail strike, right? If we got to make sure we mention corn going to Mexico, that potential. I think maybe with the precipitation we've got, it's healed this, but we've talked a lot about the low water levels in the Mississippi River and how that did not bode well. I would hope the precipitation we've seen might have cured that, but I guess time will tell there, Tommy.
Yeah, absolutely. the Ohio did get the rain a little too late, but a significant amount of rain in those driest areas of Ohio. I got caught in a web of watching stuff on North Carolina.
Yeah.
And, I talked to Luke, fan favorite Luke out there, and he's doing okay. They had like 5, 6 inches of rain, but there are literally towns that are gone. And what's wild, if you're out there and you're like, why isn't FEMA helping? They can't get there. This is helicopter only type of stuff. So the death loss is going to go up tremendously. Uh, just take a town like Augusta, Georgia, where the Masters is, right? They think the power is going to be out in Augusta, Georgia for 2 weeks. So you're talking about, say someone has a generator and some gas, they last a day or two. Then you lose your cell phones. Then you lose this. And seen a lot of, as you know, I ordered one of those Starlink things through Elon Musk, and they're dropping remote. You don't realize how much you use the internet when you need anything. And it's it's almost like a reality series. It's not funny, but like a survival thing. And it's just bad news. You're hearing stories of ambulances being called, and people not getting the medical attention they need. It's 30 inches rain. To give you an example, our area once, many years ago, we had a hurricane rain come up here, and we had 10 inches of rain, and it flooded a whole town. They've had 3 times that amount in part of the western North Carolina, Tennessee's, and in the Tennessee area. So just absolute devastation. And that doesn't mean Florida's in good shape, Connor. That just
Right. Right.
Right. That just means, they're open and back for business in parts of Florida, but there's towns that aren't coming back. So, and I was just on RFD, and he had brought up that although this isn't a large area of crops, there is a lot of animal agriculture and just, agriculture in general. You don't, just because
Right.
it's corn, wheat, and beans doesn't mean there's not agriculture in those states. So we'll keep an eye on that.
And another thing I saw, Tommy, is just we saw a great rally in soybeans Friday, and a lot of it, we've got this China stimulus coming in, but then also a lot of talk. If you were watching soy meal, right? If we see some of those plants shot down, soy meal skyrocketed too. So sometimes when we think hurricane, we're going to see the rains in the Midwest, but maybe it won't directly affect it. But there's always that bleed through when we see these big disruptions, whether it's a hurricane, the Eastern rail strike, right? It's always going to bleed through to the center, to where we are in the Midwest. Other thing, I was looking at the extended forecast, Tommy. We've got potential. I don't want to jinx it, but we've got potential for a good 7 to 10 day run of where harvest could really progress quickly. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah. And there's another storm pushing up that Ryan Hall, y'all. He said he's going to do a little video every single day this week, just keeping an eye on that. Just absolutely amazing. On the news, speaking of media, you got this young man who's, getting 4 or 5 million views on a live broadcast. We got some big stuff going on. Direct TV.
Yeah.
And Direct TV agrees to buy Dish for
$1. So
is that, I didn't know the dollar amount.
They're going to buy it for $1. So then I, where my head goes, it's like, my gosh,
Dave
I should have gave him $5.
Dave Portnoy buying back Barstool from ESPN.
One thing our headline didn't mention is that they did agree to take something like $9.7 billion worth of debt. So it's not, they bought it for $1, but they are assuming a good amount of debt. But Tommy, if you could go back 10 years ago and say that Dish Network and DirecTV are going to combine, it would be shocking to me. I'd say there's no way. They're both too big, right? But it's a testament to how much media and how we consume media has changed, that these two giants, right? It used to be in my neck of the woods, are you getting DirecTV or are you getting Dish? There was no question you were getting one or the other. Well, that's changed now, and so it's amazing to me to see that they've combined.
Well, I'm going to call DirecTV today and ask them to lower my bill. Once a year, I call and say, hey, I have DirecTV on 2 TVs. This shouldn't be this high. Lower it or cancel it. And every single year they lower it. Then I go over to my parents' house. I say, hey, it's that time of year. We got to call DirecTV, lower it or cancel it. And as long as you're not afraid to cancel, which who cares? You just go get YouTube TV or something else, or Sling. Like I have several ways of watching several things. But we are coming to you live on a platform, YouTube, and if it's and then Acres TV folks are watching. And our cost to do this, there's the initial setup, but after that, I don't want to brag, but it's almost free. I mean, sure, you had to buy headsets, you had to buy cameras, you have
Right.
lights. I mean, you're heavy on the makeup. I know there's a monthly cost for that for
This
manicuring your face.
the
But
line item with what's the makeup?
how
Sephora.
how do you explain that to the IRS? Makeup, but you just do it,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
the world's changing. Also, Mr. Rick, you remember that feed Mr. Rick showed us? Hey, Rick, who's that? Who's that musician? Come on, pop on here, Rick. You're coming on. We're bringing you on. Who's that musician you introduced me to? The guy on YouTube,
Rick Beato.
Rick Beato. Thank you, Mr. Rick. Rick. He introduces me to more weird, great stuff that I'm like, oh, I got it. So Rick Beato did a YouTube yesterday on why he will never have a paid sponsor. I don't know if you noticed that one. And he's got a wildly successful YouTube channel. I think he just hit 1 billion views.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting stuff.
It's all about music. So
Yes.
tomorrow, let's post up who he is. But you see him saying stay independent, and he's making a lot of money on it. There's a lot of people doing very well just doing media, right? And
Tommy,
what
as
is
you know,
media?
he started this late in his career, right? You watched an episode where just from his quest for continued learning, he's now where he's at, and he didn't start that till way into his career, right?
Right. And Gina and I were watching an episode the other day, and I said, all right, we got to go to bed. And she's like, no, we got to watch another one. They're so good. If you love anything to do with music, they're just amazing. And he gets the who's who of who's who of who's who of anyone in music, and they all want it. He's kind of like the Joe Rogan in music. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes.
Yeah, good stuff. So anyway, you got a guy out like that saying, no sponsors. You're not going to buy me. And yeah, it's interesting. It kind of got me thinking about what the future has to look like.
Okay, back to my day job.
Oh, no. All right, we'll see you.
Exactly.
Connor and I are out. Rick, finish up. And he could too. Rick, yeah, he's introduced us to so many neat things. I love how he, the way he thinks about music and his passion for, artistic type stuff. It's,
Absolutely.
but yeah, separate. I always thought XM would have been a great stock, and it's a horrible stock. The as far as a company, right?
Right.
And I in 2 weeks we've went off a side tangent here, but you'll understand where I'm going with this. In 2 weeks, I'm going out to New York to the NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters, and if you would told me that I would be attending a show and have any purpose or relevance there, I wouldn't have believed you. But I would ask, why am I at that, right? But anyone can do this, and I encourage everyone, if you have a message, to get it out there and start live streaming. I think it's great. I wish there was more live streams like this. Like a little competition's good. There's a few of us out here doing this. Wish there's 10 of them. Come on, turn on the camera, boys and girls. It's that easy. Let's go.
I like it. Well, I got one more thing for you, Tommy. We talk about it a lot, commitment to traders. And so I think we need to keep it in the forefront, just because if you haven't been paying attention, right, you're hoping for that short cover and rally. Guess what? This is combined corn and soybeans. We're there. We are back in the realm of, I look at 2018, even 2019 as those big, those are a big carry years. And so we're kind of getting close to where, we're correlating close to those years. So, if you want to be a bull, let's hope they keep covering. Let's hope they get long in 2024. I can't believe I'm saying that's on the table given where we were a month ago. But, right, I don't even know if I want to say this, but if we're going to be pessimistic, if we get some rains in South America, they're very much squared up to sell this again and to drive it lower. So, but big short in corn and soybeans, big short covering that we've seen the past month, 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. But the soybeans reacted so much better to the short covering. So the corn's had an incredible amount of short covering, and it digested it a lot better. I don't think corn would be hanging out here if meal wasn't going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But it's nice to see. I'm taking it. I listened to a guy, he's a big technical guy, and he said, hey, I'm wrong, but I'm happy for the American farmer. We want prices to go up. If they go up too much, you get where the whole world overproduces it. So we got to, in a perfect world, we want the market to find a happy medium, and we want everyone in ag to make a profit. And there are some bright spots in ag right now. Let's go over them super quick. Dairy is doing so much better with the prices. The beef industry is holding on there. There's this dollar move in beans. Hey, we're going to produce X amount of beans, most were in price. They just went up $1. So we produce over 4 billion bushels of beans, correct, Connor?
Mm-hmm.
And they went up $1. And Nov 25 went up $1. So you're looking at billions of dollars injected into a 50-cent rally on a 15 billion bushel crop. You're looking at another $7-8 billion injected in the ag economy. So when ags go down, it's very costly to people's balance sheets, and when they go up, there's a benefit to it, and they're going to need it because fertilizer and inputs are not coming down. Questions, comments, anything else, Connor?
Yep, pop it up. Here we go. Luke, people of Appalachia are hardy type, but this devastation will take a while to recover from. Lots of black Angus and goats up that way towards Blowing Rock as well.
Luke's watching. Well, thanks, Luke. Yeah, it to me it feels worse than Katrina because it's just the situation of not having access to. Well, Katrina was bad. You don't remember that. You're too young, but Katrina was real bad.
How young do you think I am?
You weren't even born. Whatever.
Here, the thing, the difference with Katrina is that the hurricane was bad, but really what caused it was when the levees broke, right? It was an engineering failure more than anything. Where this, right, it's just the hurricane came in and it dumped a lot of rain and a lot of really bad storms. The footage is just, I don't know. You said you were looking at a time. It's just unbelievable sometimes. The pictures of in a house, you can see the water's 2 feet up the window and it's just trying to hold on there.
I want to say one other thing about media, because I was over at my parents' house last night and I said to my mom and dad, boy, the stuff in North Carolina is horrible. And he goes, I haven't seen anything on TV. I said, that's because you're watching traditional media. Go to YouTube, search North Carolina devastation, and traditional media is not going to cover this because the United States government's not doing a good job handling the situation, and they're not going to do anything bad to make this administration or any administration look bad. And it's not being covered. Speaking of looking bad, President Biden is going to make a statement or try to at least or something. And in these situations, regardless of who's president, it's a bad situation. This isn't something one man or woman can fix. So you can't blame the president for 30 inches of rain falling on an area. But everyone's wanting to blame someone. But it's truly just a natural disaster, and it's horrible. Hey, we didn't talk about it, but there was a very active weekend in what's going on in Israel and everything else. I mean, the world's got a lot of stuff going on, folks, and we got a USDA report coming out. All right, with that, we got premium popping out. We had Don Wick this weekend. We're going to have a good segment of premium today after the close. If you're interested in premium, give us a click, a like, a subscribe, something. It's $30 a month, $1 a day, www.ATI Pro Media Premium. Thank you to all our new subscribers. We do enjoy doing this. And it's don't forget, call DirecTV and ask them to lower your bill. I bet anyone out there, they will lower it. They have no choice. The world's changed, and we're helping. We're part of that change. Anything else, Connor B?
Nope. Good stuff. We'll see everyone again. Tune back in around 10:45, and we'll see what this USDA report brings.
See you, bud.
See you.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.